Ebusia sesia de Dadiesoaba-hene enene no waka dwam after se Exp0sed to parky edwane ye edifri oman Ghana mu a ensem ena epoboba edekọ Dadiesoaba-hene wo kwaku Kristo ene wababa biebie ensem so atutu bi ede ama Dadiesoaba-hene akyerɛkyerɛ kwan a papa yi efa so a woye niema entimi amoa a enei Wokutia immediate family of the late Daddy Lumba. Yenko tie kwaku Kristo. Nensensema wetimi ediaba atiaba kwa mesle. Enso be subscribe channel no ediama me. O subscribe wia me abel no anytime ya be update no benya notification. Na wetimi I enjoy the Akosua platforms. Ebusia M&B Express Logistic. Semen kancho se edu tama opeka efo kai papa latest cars nyano M&B Express Logistic na make am for the amomo bezi o Canada into chance opeka bi ato contact wom na afenso mon shepe emfemfri Canada emro Ghana yenko tie nkomo na
fi say ye kenkan Ghana mra na ma Ghana mra na kire say se wokọ na ware oba firi na busuafo na so person mra so mu a e wo so the marriage registration certificate ba e be si na preslofo ri woni bi ono to so a wona na lawyer fo no akohwifo asansafo so e fati a de shum kankan kwase aba na me di na tem ne e di na tem china a sene kwase asene so ye kronfo da bia no every say wadwuma ne se wo ye lawyer nchese fa kobokro no wadwuma ne se wo ye lawyer nchese kone kosisi oba kunafo bi ne kodi twantro wadwuma ne se wo ye lawyer entrese kodi obi abusuani me nafa wo jimi e ma omufunu nkoyira ntime de meka a kire kwasi ampanyini kwasi aba fati eti wo fati wono nkwasi lawyers lawyer ben kwanfo ajimi fo no na wase ka mutimi kwa Ghana court na mokọ kire ye ma me Akosua Serwaa divorce certificate ma ofa anko se no ye se ka kire mo se Ghana for me musa lawyer party ko hwini sansani ko ba bifie e ko sai na ko ji ade ko hwi ade na later ko ji percentage no mommy musa mo say marriage registration na odobro ni Priscilla 2010 odi Lumba ko register as a private marriage na omo se no omo wie omo koye yenti a omo timi de ko court ko twen sa protest o ye yire na wai. There's a court no more call no Priscilla photo de ba ne ya anye antum enso ya nchene se for contempt ya nchene se all the fake document about court ono so a one marriage registration a Ghana mra e kire se judge ni betime agina so aka se ampa we ye ware no amamre kwan so enu ti be ma no wo kwan so ware bebre ka ho eno so a fa bi ama na de se a kire ma adwene se ye busa jadorenda se ye ma me Akosua Serwaa de sa marriage registration ni bi ba ya na kwan be so na wo fa ya wo de ko mre mu hu se waye ono so yire e wo amamre kwan so it is ansem we no and I was in the interim the judiciary is about to go on recess, we have to revisit it and make sure, say, once the judiciary is on recess, more holidays now, they will be paying attention to the court of public opinion. They have draw this attention to it, say, marriage registration, which should solidify the fact, say, as some Jadorenda Bekana no correct. If we say Ghana memuno and sana court and I say judge ni beti miya can say awariye we amamre kwaso awariye I have friend customary right and I say customary marriage it has to be registered with the local authorities, whether KMA, AMA, whatever MA, LAMA, whatever. I was say register it is during the on what basis and on your document because your mama Akosua Serwaa fan bi ama. You are the buyer, ordinance marriage certificate. It is a marriage certificate, not to on what basis? And I am one for any marriage registration pertaining to any customary marriage. So how then the judge Dorinda arrive at the decision and the judgment that a friend say without any marriage registration, which makes it legal. And I said, which gives it the legal backing and that background for the application of the law when it comes to that marriage. It taking place will be able to and we need to pay attention to all this. Now me hear research and say, ye can't do honor and come over to me the biaba. Ye can share court records, do they have that? No, I'm gonna do a court records. There's nothing like a registration of that the Lumba and Priscilla Ofori a marriage course 2010. Whether I say course on the fear, whether I say a secret, whether I say now some person by camera, there should be a registration to legitimize it. And I know, and I had GMs was can can. Yeah, told you for na can. Mr. Okwasia bia ba mo block no ma me Okwasia platforms what o papa Okwasia be generate. And he said the American no, me be say me che say what we should ask the appeal court to look into right now, no, because they will be listening when they go on recess. They will be listening to the court of public opinion. That one, it is very unlawful for a judge to rule in favor of a marriage and describe it as a customary marriage when the law of Ghana, the constitution of the land, says that the judge shall ask and require for a marriage registration from the local authorities before the law can solidify or back that marriage and recognize it as a legal marriage under the laws of Ghana. And then again, may say back, say ma me Akosua Serwaa or the ordinance marriage certificate in the coin amusi faker. Where did the Dorinda the marriage registration? Because your question say, you know, there's no marriage registration. And for Priscilla Ofori to even proceed, say me Lumba, you know, say you say emrane kan yenti, judge ne kan yenti engine tuma, then there should be a marriage registration to that effect. And yes, sir, that judgment, no, the judgment itself becomes illegal because it was just the application of technicalities to slain justice. The judgment that Dorinda Maya, you know, if it was not based on any marriage registration, and ultimately arriving at say a man a customary wife, sir, then the judgment was derived from technicalities and not the law. So this judgment need to be reviewed, and then these questions and these documents should be asked. Say because they can manipulate the system all they want, but they cannot manipulate the series. It follows numbers, receipt numbers you show. We should be able to track this down to 2010. Eti anono mpono Lumba ebe to me already esie Lumba ebe to me aye bibia, but the moment aka Lumba by say or Baba register sawari no, the registrar general no would have sought and sensed bigamy right there. Eti Priscilla Ofori awa the onus on any lawyer for Atiko Shini Sansani Pabuomukan Kain. They have all the honors to prove to Ghanaians say Priscilla Ofori after sa purported alleged secret marriage, you know. As a Koshini witness ni be na obeka omo ko register because na Lumba dwen ne ho say oba we ono na atiti me to bring bon kan oba we wa bra me ho say de e kan nti Lumba de ne ko register e say de be ya dachi bi e mra beka bi ama no. Said you owu ye obegina obekai tribute no eno nti no Lumba nyansem no how intelligent Lumba is no se Lumba ware ni sie ye kura na Lumba pese wode na japade ma akoda yi said ye na wo ka kire Ghana mpanifo so ono na tutu no tubi nti anje obi japade ma no se na Lumba dono na Lumba peno na Lumba se wone na wo se wone na etina se na yira enko yes awade no ekobekwa register every say well what ya ma me Akosua Serwaa no omo register in Germany e ma no the certificate le kire. So the question is ya ma me Akosua Serwaa the certificate ni bi ba yo but Priscilla Ofori the oni hwe picture of the Bible na fake to the extent say court na reject without say omo chino for contempt to try to scam a court of law in Ghana with fake document that we using this exhibit, you know, it's tantamount to punishment. Why, sir, Priscilla, this exhibit never fake? There was no punishment for her. It's come away and never see a din in the midst of Yedi Fufu. Now I said the American, obi a wate ya maame Akosua Serwaa ne bia na ohunu se onyankopon ama na hunu se ebre ne atenka yetima ya maame na is true. She has been through that crucifixion when it comes to her life and marriage. Now no nation you crying. And the question still remains. Say Priscilla Ofori eba and was Lumba Warren secretly. On what basis? And a Ghana Mrano etimi recognizing now as a customary married wife. Because Ghana Mrana nka say on the basis say obi the papa safo kantanka bi ekom de no tikuro fom kohwini sansani kohwini bi abegina waka say bibi yetete amamere bibi yetete awaresem etie de no a judge cannot base on this thing to tell me say after all the credentials ni intellectual capability or no say sa papa na no asem without looking at what the law of Ghana is requiring her to do no wawari obi by force a movie. I'm sorry, Judge Dorinda. I'm very, very sorry. It's that alone, no. I just say your judgment was purely emotional. Your judgment was based on purely emotions. There was no logic or any application of any law. Hence, because you wanted to exhibit your emotions to get results, you chose not to apply the law, but you chose to apply technicalities so you can arrive at where you wanted to go. And we are pulling the strings right now and letting you know, say, we know your game plan, and your game plan has failed. Because as we speak, there's no record that shows that Lumba and Odobroni were married. Nothing. And the laws of the land requires that for a customary marriage to be legitimized, it has to be registered. Where is Priscilla Ofori's marriage registration with Daddy Lumba? I said the last time we bad to educate people on that. The way it's here. No be able say Priscilla Ninubi. Oni pecha oni hwe anso yeso ye yere etimumi ehun se yenkunim die no adura wie yenko sirem ne yenko boy yenkunim die no so empire kese pa etimede ma no si no I want us to talk about these topics, and these topics topics are say yes ye kwama ye maame Akosua Serwaa dia. We have to really ask these questions and make sure say the media is aware and asking these questions. Say, on what basis? Say, Ghana Mrani de Juma Ghana Mra say ya ware and Kremofu awadia ko register and ko sign ko to ko register wo kumasi a ekame ye ware e wo busuafo anima customary marriage na ma won kwa say wo kunu timi ware bi kan won na kwane ko register ne hu so na your first wife. Nemo emra ya oksa customary no enipa ne toa so no koye ordinance atwa BBM eje no de BBM ni ho saa wa register you eno no CKØD no eti questions no I was say busa ne say opriga benten says opriga benten atitibini says ko obi fie ko wiane kunu ko se ho wiafunu ka ho boso papra woni ase na be super epe ayi only any marriage registration enough of maame Akosua Serwaa marriage certificate. Yes, say ono de odi bi ba yo mo na mo se say wan fan for the right channel. Now breaker benten says the marriage registration excess ye ware the customary every 2010 away. There is no document to this effect. And by word of mouth, and adoring that also the pass judgment. And they say our dear Ghana, nobody's wanna sit and watch this happen. And the wheels of justice will catch up with you. And we are society when I mean news be, yes, yes, a baby, a police inspector be, or running a show for joint. Now just imagine how powerful this police inspector thought he was. Now you say, I didn't know why you no be according to me mentioning that. Some police or inspector we meet me catch you say operation Akosua self BB on the lady. On one I go to show phones on the running business. And it's the same thing Akosua. Eti president for ye emre bi ba so ate emre no aso na appeals court no e ya judge for me ensa enti omono untimi nkose what the word of mouth ekwo in case o da bia nye Priscilla wa hwia titim enutina dedwentwie ba akwase ba free the free ne say maami Akosua Serwaa de o ne marriage certificate na ekwan on Lumba fa so tina wa jimi ye go camera wo one man na say ade Lumba be complaining. Do you have any video and audio and bibi e chese Lumba complaining about na ware da every video and audio I want e chese Lumba acknowledge cherishing na ware na mo jimi munsu anyansa. Now the question remains, Maami Akosua Serwaa or marriage certificate or the aba. Although Brony Priscilla now also but on the other hand say what you know. Or also marriage registration. This is the question. Priscilla Oforia tako shini sansani ba. When I was here, Bema ware or Bema fee, net time. Nemum, what do you fatao? If you say you are so inferior to Maami Akosua Serwaa, Bibusa or Priscilla, or marriage registration where Koshiniba, picture Kura Unibi, if you say one self fata, say the apetashi one thought to cry on one dear many pages, everybody. One self fata, who you made, now because why you made, who you made this sack of my baby as the best say, and Uti, or Bob Brenner was shepherding, and I made Bob Brenner and shepherding. Now, Utimina Madame, we are sit that. And see, untimi fa hundi sa bonikasi awakodi wo bi fie akose obi awade ye ne da enu tu ni marriage registration ya nware o maame ya nware o ye baby making machine wo ye baby making machine wo ye useless se be ma be ware o ye baby making machine sa wo se na wo nya just a baby making machine e ma dade Lumba se wo nya se wo be di wa piagu mu keke ono kwanse na ompi mu wo de wo keke on fanya she wana brabom enya se eduru mra na waye mre no na ma wote hwe ana odo wona ya suso ne mu osuso mu se ne poma wo ye waste sa wo se ye boa akofa bibi a chese ye ware obara akire Maami Akosua Serwaa bremu o prega benten se duru wo so boso me miensa we ya si e bebusa se kofa marriage registration bra ko shini ba ya nware o be ma ti se Lumba be ware o Dabi, ono ba wo kwa because we waste. Odo ye hwe nye yie. Eto on ware o. Priscilla Oforie, me si Lumba on ware wo net on ware wo china. Anu ti, odo kwa hye apetashi ba, ana wabusuafo ajiminti. Omodo koma be ma so on ware wo ne fie. Na sempo no ya mpa, e ka Lumba pe wo akobekwa ko jani pe mo asan. Priscilla Oforie, so ma nkwasi afo no momra. Me say, Priscilla Oforie, we are useless a big Joe a boy ya wabejina I mean block me mute no ya boa asiasa no we ya kromfo ya hwi na sa big Joe yi obewu amani funayira oba bi de ne be fa kwan so ama bra bi a obobi ohun no wiase wasie ne mu kromfo be ma bejina be chotwe nkwase asem Priscilla, me say we are waste, we are useless. You are just a baby making machine. E ma dade Lumba be ji anu tum. Enya se akofa marriage registration bra. Ko shiniba. Kromfo ko obi fie ko wia na ware. Enso ko ya ware o. Kwasia. Priscilla, me say ya ware o. Se wo Priscilla Oforie wo se ya ware wa. Ko fa marriage registration bra. Ko shini. O picture wo de ware 2010 enyi ni cha wo video awadi 2016 ko shini ba ono fo sa ate si pasu ko shini ko for marriage registration bra wati Priscilla Oforie me si ko for marriage registration bra ko shini ba ko for marriage registration bra ono fo sa ate pa be kwa nwan ne ono fo sa ate kan bom e wo pasu wati me say, kwa marriage registration bra, ko shini ba sansani ba ti se o. Ade Lumba de wo ya dai. Lumba no wo de wo ya dai. E bini na abetete, wo ya bola asiniama. Priscilla Oforie. Kwa marriage registration bra. Wo ya fofole, wo busuafo ina ya fofole and full family. A Jimmy full family. E ti ba ma bi abetinya be fa wo se, wo kwa ware wo ni fie kwa sia. Ko for marriage registration bra I just say be ma respect o ko shini ba Priscilla ko shini ba me say every na dey kono this is the question we need to be asking on our platforms and ya ko go Christian abufuo and I go Christian abufuo ya musa Priscilla say eye o ma me kwa sia ba I was suma mu abi ti say free mo jimi o mu jimi ya de ba so me catch it out. Koshini ba one na machire pa chewo. Koshini eh me si ko for marriage registration bra. So wo bia e ka wo da obeda. Koshini ba ko for marriage registration na mu fake kwa ba ne se Lumba wa boda ma Jimmy say koshini ba ti sew. Ono ba kwa kwatena ba bi so the signature to so aware wa. Ko fa bi bra na hye koshini ba Priscilla. Me say o marriage registration no de beba. O de o marriage registration ba be che Ghana for amaya hu say that the Lumba signing his signature say o ba ti sell inferior human being ti sell wo ware wa. Eti dia mo de ma me ne fa mu ensem a wo kagu ma me no so nyina no you still that the Lumba wan for anya baby wan for anya hwe na wan fa wonya hwe wo koto na asem ado kon fa wonya hwe. And we are seeing in any say for one year because uni marriage registration, uni be chese bema di apetesi ba kokura ko ware o. No ware umba, unya for full lefu, e brimia senior e ka bema be so nsa ko ware wo no ani fie. Na wo busuafo ajiminti, omo so akodi won dance here. Me say baby abedu no ma Akosua Serwaa ne marriage certificate ye busa ho asemache ya kan ho asemache personal forie that Lumba ware wo ya ho de o marriage registration na we ko hwini akwada wako obi fi akwase na ko hwie fie won yema nyina awie funu efunu nyina wa wi Priscilla and so still amen meboa Oda so suma bloggers sika wa seno that the Lumba sika wa shino wa chiri wu nyina achi oda so suma nkwasiafo bi ti se kwa abota so mo magime meboa Priscilla me say ye busa wasem o ne be busa wo sa ko hwini odobro ni sansani ba ya nware o na wo de be ma wu na ni funa yira na ya hwehwe na ye hu na wone na mo bo ho safo ne se aware o yes o marriage registration wey me se kwa abota Jimmy for munkofa odobro ni munkofa ne marriage registration mra fofo lefu aya fa bola so eti ya nware on ya san bibia ya nware o ena ya san bibia be ma papa be na de ne sabe kwa sign papers se o ware wo sa de we apart from ability ya wutimi nya hwema ho apart from entity bini no nsuo fa twa picture ne fa nsuo ne picture kwa billboard kwa wantimi ebe si na Lumba nsuo na nyine se toilet ne si ho me sa